Have you heard of BlackRock? Probably not, and that's intentional. While headlines focus on politics and celebrities, BlackRock quietly shapes the global economy from behind the scenes. They manage over $10 trillion, making them a top shareholder in thousands of companies, impacting everything from your retirement fund to the price of your home. Unlike Apple or Amazon, BlackRock doesn't sell you products. They own stakes in the companies that do. Their power is subtle, structural, and almost invisible, yet it touches nearly every aspect of modern life. This is economic empire building on a scale the world has never seen. BlackRock's control isn't just about owning stocks. It's about being both investor and advisor to the world's biggest companies and governments. Alongside Vanguard, they form a quiet duopoly, holding major stakes in tech, banks, media, energy, and more. Their reach extends to real estate, food, transportation, and even defense. When one company is a top shareholder in supposed competitors, true market competition fades. Through initiatives like ESG, BlackRock sets policy for thousands of companies, bypassing public debate. This is more than business. It's a new form of global power. The question, who's really in control? BlackRock's influence blurs the line between private finance and public power. In crises, governments turn to BlackRock, like after the 2008 crash and during the COVID-19 pandemic, to manage trillions in assets. Their CEO, Larry Fink, has direct access to world leaders, and former BlackRock executives routinely move into top government roles. BlackRock isn't a bank, so it avoids strict regulations, yet it wields more economic power than most nations. They shape regulations, advise central banks, and set corporate agendas, all to maximize client returns. With so much influence and so little oversight, who's really steering the ship? In this shadow government, accountability is missing. BlackRock began in 1988, founded by Larry Fink and 7 partners with a single goal: master risk management. Scarred by past financial losses, Fink built a firm obsessed with data and precision, not just gut instinct. They focused on managing money for big institutions, prioritizing safety and steady returns. Their edge? Turning complex financial products into predictable investments using advanced analytics. From the start, BlackRock was more machine than old-school Wall Street. Quiet, calculated, and driven by technology, this vision would redefine global finance. BlackRock's rise began with mortgage-backed securities, complex, risky, and misunderstood by most. They built proprietary tech to analyze these bonds, turning chaos into reliable profits. By 1992, they managed $17 billion, outpacing rivals with their data-driven approach. Their tech-first mindset attracted top talent, mathematicians, physicists, and computer scientists. A split from their parent company in 1994 gave them independence in the name BlackRock. Now, with proven strategies and cutting-edge tools, they were poised to dominate finance. The age of the financial superpower had begun. Freed from Blackstone, BlackRock grew rapidly, acquiring rivals, expanding globally, and going public in 1999. The IPO gave it the capital to become a global powerhouse. Merging with Merrill Lynch doubled its assets. The 2009 BGI deal made BlackRock the world's largest asset manager and ETF provider. Today, BlackRock is an unstoppable juggernaut in global finance. As BlackRock's assets grew, so did the complexity of managing them. The simple models of the past weren't enough. They needed a central nervous system, a single platform to track every asset and risk. This gave birth to Aladdin, their most powerful secret weapon. Soon, competitors and institutions relied on Aladdin too, making BlackRock the center of global finance. BlackRock had become a global titan, armed with an all-seeing technological eye. BlackRock isn't just a company. It's a kingdom that reigns over the world's most powerful corporations. It's a top shareholder in Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, and the biggest banks. Its influence is spread like an invisible net across the entire corporate landscape. When you search, shop, or bank, you're in BlackRock's world. This is what structural power looks like. BlackRock's influence isn't just in distant boardrooms, it's in your daily life. From the medicines you take, to the food you buy, to the news you watch, BlackRock is a top investor in companies like Pfizer, Procter & Gamble, Coca-Cola, and Disney. Their ownership shapes prices, choices, and even the stories you hear. Your reality is curated by their portfolio. Beyond the companies you use, BlackRock is moving into an even more fundamental asset class, the very places we live. In recent years, the firm has become a dominant force in the global real estate market. But they are not just buying skyscrapers and office buildings. Through their investment vehicles, BlackRock has been buying up entire neighborhoods of single-family homes. They outbid regular families with all-cash offers, turning starter homes that once represented a path to middle-class stability into just another line item in a multi-trillion-dollar investment portfolio. This has had a devastating effect on housing affordability for millions of people. The strategy is simple and ruthless. Buy up housing supply, convert those homes into rental properties, and then raise the rent. By reducing the number of homes available for purchase, they drive up prices for everyone else. This creates a vicious cycle. As homeownership becomes more unaffordable, more people are forced to rent. And who is waiting to collect that rent? The very same institutional investors like BlackRock who drove up the prices in the first place. They are systematically transforming the American dream of owning a home into the permanent reality of being a tenant, paying monthly tribute to a massive, faceless financial corporation. This isn't just happening in the United States, it's a global phenomenon. From Dublin to Berlin to Sydney, institutional investors are pouring billions of dollars into residential real estate, fundamentally changing the nature of housing markets around the world. Homes are no longer seen primarily as places for people to live and build communities. They have been financialized, turned into an asset class just like stocks or bonds, to be bought and sold for profit by global capital. BlackRock is at the forefront of this movement, leading the charge to turn one of humanity's most basic needs, shelter, into a new revenue stream for the ultra-wealthy. The consequences of this extend beyond just high prices. When a corporation is your landlord, the relationship changes. A corporate landlord's primary duty is to its shareholders, not its tenants. This can lead to aggressive rent hikes, higher fees, and a lack of investment in property maintenance. It hollows out communities, replacing long-term residents with a transient rental population. It concentrates wealth and power in the hands of a few financial giants, while stripping it away from ordinary families. In their quest to own the world, BlackRock is quite literally buying the ground from under our feet, becoming the new landlords of the planet. BlackRock and Vanguard form a quiet duopoly, controlling vast portions of the global economy. They're top shareholders in most major companies, shaping corporate governance and industry competition. Their immense voting power drives trends like ESG, and their decisions influence trillions of dollars. This concentration of power is unprecedented. Two private firms now shape the direction of global industry, often beyond public debate or oversight. When crisis strikes, who does the government call? Increasingly, it's not their own experts, but BlackRock. From the 2008 financial meltdown to the COVID-19 crash, BlackRock has managed trillions for the public, blurring the line between private power and public responsibility. Governments now depend on BlackRock's technology and expertise, making it indispensable and giving it immense leverage. All this, with little public debate or oversight. The revolving door between BlackRock and government spins fast. Executives move from the firm to top policy roles, and former officials join BlackRock, blending public and private power. This constant exchange shapes policy and erodes oversight, making BlackRock's interests in the states nearly indistinguishable. It's not lobbying, it's structural power. BlackRock's political influence isn't always wielded through formal contracts or high-profile appointments. It is often exercised through more subtle, yet profoundly effective means. The firm's CEO, Larry Fink, has cultivated a unique position as the unofficial oracle of global capitalism. His annual letter to the CEOs of the companies BlackRock invests in has become one of the most important documents in the business world. It is read with more attention in boardrooms and government finance ministries than most official government reports. In this letter, Fink sets the agenda for corporate America, outlining his vision for issues ranging from climate change to corporate governance. These letters are not mere suggestions, they are directives backed by the threat of BlackRock's immense voting power. When Larry Fink says companies need to focus more on sustainability and ESG metrics, thousands of CEOs listen. They reorient their business strategies, not because of a new law passed by a Democratic legislature, but because of a letter from their most powerful shareholder. This is a form of private regulation on a global scale. Fink is, in effect, acting as a global policy architect, shaping the behavior of entire industries through a whisper campaign directed at the world's most powerful executives. This power operates completely outside of any democratic framework. The firm also runs its own highly influential think tank, the BlackRock Investment Institute. This institute publishes research and commentary on global economic trends, geopolitical risks, and investment strategy. Its publications are consumed by policymakers, central bankers, and financial journalists worldwide, helping to frame the official debate around key economic issues. By producing sophisticated analysis, BlackRock can subtly guide policy discussions in a direction that favors its own interests and worldview. It is a classic example of soft power shaping the intellectual environment in which decisions are made, ensuring that the smart choice always aligns with BlackRock's strategy. This creates a powerful feedback loop. BlackRock advises governments during crises. Its former executives then join those governments to implement policy. Its CEO directs the behavior of the world's largest corporations through his annual letter, and its think tank shapes the intellectual climate for future policy. Each element reinforces the others, creating a fortress of influence that is nearly impossible to penetrate. While elected officials debate on the public stage, the real architecture of our economic policy is being designed behind the scenes, in the boardrooms and research departments of a single, unelected financial firm that answers to no one but its clients. When you combine BlackRock's role as a crisis manager for governments, its control over the Aladdin technology platform, and its vast ownership of the world's assets, a startling picture emerges. The firm has begun to function as a kind of shadow central bank. Central banks, like the Federal Reserve, are supposed to be public institutions tasked with maintaining financial stability, controlling the money supply, and acting as a lender of last resort. They are meant to serve the public interest. BlackRock now performs many of these same functions, but it is a private, for-profit entity whose primary legal duty is to its shareholders and clients. Think about its role. During crises, it intervenes in markets on behalf of the government, deciding which assets to buy to stabilize the system, a function traditionally reserved for a central bank. Its Aladdin platform acts as a systemic risk monitor for a huge swath of the financial industry, providing the kind of oversight that regulators are supposed to offer. And through its massive ETF business, its decisions on fund creation and index tracking can direct the flow of trillions of dollars in capital, influencing the economy in ways that are similar to a central bank's monetary policy decisions. It possesses the power of a state institution without any of the public accountability. This concentration of power in a private entity poses a fundamental risk to the global financial system. The system now depends on a single company's proprietary technology and judgment. A failure of the Aladdin system, or a major miscalculation by BlackRock's managers, could have catastrophic consequences that ripple across the entire globe, affecting the very clients and governments who have become so dependent on it. We have, in essence, allowed a private monopoly to form at the very heart of the public financial infrastructure. It is a single point of failure on an unprecedented scale, a systemic risk hiding in plain sight. This is the ultimate expression of power without office. BlackRock does not need to win an election to set economic policy. It does not need a legislative majority to regulate corporate behavior. It has achieved a higher form of influence. By becoming indispensable to both governments and markets, it has woven itself into the very fabric of the system. It can steer the global economy from the shadows, its power unchecked by voters and largely misunderstood by the public. The question is no longer whether BlackRock is powerful, but whether a power so vast and unaccountable can coexist with the principles of a free and democratic society. At the heart of BlackRock's empire lies Aladdin, an algorithm, not a vault of gold. Aladdin is the central nervous system of global finance, tracking over $21 trillion in assets. It connects thousands of professionals, running endless simulations and stress tests, never sleeping. Aladdin is the invisible brain behind BlackRock, quietly shaping the flow of capital and impacting billions, most of whom will never know its name. BlackRock's Aladdin promised certainty in a world of financial fear. Firms bought in, seeking safety from risk, only to become deeply dependent, locked into BlackRock's ecosystem. But as everyone relies on the same prophecy machine, a new danger emerges. If Aladdin fails, the whole system could crash together. The genius of BlackRock's strategy with Aladdin was not just in building the technology, but in turning it into a network. By licensing the platform to others, BlackRock transformed its competitors into customers. This is a brilliant business model that generates a steady stream of high-margin revenue, but more importantly, it creates a network effect that reinforces BlackRock's dominance. The more clients use Aladdin, the more powerful the platform becomes. More clients mean more data, which in turn makes the system's analysis and predictions even more accurate, attracting even more clients. It is a virtuous cycle for BlackRock and a web of dependence for everyone else. This network extends directly into the halls of government. As we have seen, central banks and government agencies, including the United States Federal Reserve and the European Central Bank, have hired BlackRock for its analytical prowess. This means they are relying on the very same Aladdin platform that powers the private financial institutions they are supposed to be regulating. It is a staggering conflict of interest. The regulator is using the regulatee's own tools to supervise the market. This gives BlackRock an unparalleled God's-eye view of the entire financial system, seeing both the private sector's moves and the government's response, all from the same central dashboard. This dependence creates a significant power imbalance. When a pension fund or an insurance company subscribes to Aladdin, they are not just getting software. They are often also hiring BlackRock's advisory services. BlackRock's teams will help them interpret the data and structure their portfolios based on Aladdin's output. This deepens the reliance, making the client even more dependent on BlackRock's expertise. It moves beyond a simple technology contract and becomes a deep, strategic partnership where BlackRock is effectively guiding the investment decisions of other massive pools of capital, extending its influence far beyond the assets it officially manages. The result is a financial world that increasingly thinks with one mind, the mind of Aladdin. This homogeneity is dangerous. A healthy ecosystem, whether in nature or in finance, requires diversity. It needs different perspectives, different strategies, and different assessments of risk. When everyone from the biggest bank to the government's crisis response team is using the same analytical engine, that diversity disappears. It creates a herd mentality on an institutional scale. This system is optimized for stability in normal times, but it is incredibly fragile and susceptible to cascading failures when something truly unexpected happens. Something that might fall outside the parameters of Aladdin's code. Aladdin, BlackRock's powerful algorithm, centralizes vast financial data, granting an unprecedented market advantage. Its inner workings are secret, its influence immense. This single system shapes global markets, yet remains a black box, built for profit, not democracy. As we rely on it, we must ask, who controls the algorithm that controls us? BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager, claims to champion ESG, environmental, social, and governance investing. But critics say it's greenwashing, promoting sustainability while investing billions in fossil fuels. Some accuse BlackRock of wielding its power to push a political agenda, shaping corporate America without public oversight. Is this true progress, or a quiet transfer of power from elected leaders to financial giants? BlackRock and other giants have turned homes into financial assets, buying up single-family houses and outbidding families. This drives up prices, fueling a housing crisis and making homeownership harder for millions. The American dream is fading, replaced by a nation of renters while BlackRock profits from the flames. BlackRock and its rival Vanguard are top shareholders in nearly every major company, from Coca-Cola and Pepsi to United, American, and Delta Airlines. This common ownership means supposed competitors often share the same powerful owners. The result? Less real competition, higher prices for consumers, and a system where the market's invisible hand is guided by a few dominant players. This quiet concentration of power challenges the very idea of American capitalism. BlackRock controls trillions, shapes policy, and influences our lives, yet remains invisible to most. Its power thrives in the shadows, protected by a complex system and a media it partly owns. Without public scrutiny, this concentration of influence grows unchecked. The real danger? Silence and the world's indifference. BlackRock isn't just a market participant, it's become the market itself, shaping economies, policies, and even the air we breathe. Its influence touches our pensions, our homes, and our governments, often unseen but everywhere. This concentration of power challenges democracy itself. The world is finally turning on the lights. Will we reclaim control or surrender to the shadows?